Hello, this is Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I love my Bebop 2 FPV goggles. They make it so that you feel like you're just right up there in the Bebop flying around in the sky. And then if I click the right-hand trigger on the Sky Controller 2, I get to look through the smartphone camera at what's going on around me on the ground, and it's good for takeoffs and landings and for anything else that's going on around you. If you hear somebody walking up and you want to see who it is or something like that. In this picture here, you see me standing on the back of my truck because I was trying to get a better connection between my Bebop and my Sky controller, and I thought if I got up on the truck, it would improve it. But as it turned out, it didn't. And there's the video I made this from. But here's the video of me climbing up on the back of the truck after I had laid the Sky controller up there, and I have the goggles on. And the bad news is you shouldn't do this. You should not climb up with the goggles on. But I did it anyway. Now, do you notice that? Let's look at that again. Notice how I missed the Bebop, or I missed the Sky controller when I reached for it. Take a look at that, because what happened is I thought my hand was headed towards the Sky controller, but because I didn't have any depth perception, I missed it. No depth perception. There is no depth perception with just one eye. And when people just close one eye and try to get around, sometimes it's pretty dangerous. And I should not have been on my truck with my goggles on. And there is, I'm standing up now. And the good news is this: looking through the camera of the smartphone is the best thing could ever happen, because now I can launch my Bebop. I can look around. I can look at my Sky controller, make sure I'm pushing the correct button, and all I have to do is click that right hand trigger back and forth, and I'm all set. Now here's one of the earlier videos I made. It was an open field Wi-Fi test, and this was when I was setting the Bebop on the ground in front of the truck, but I would always do my setup back where the tailgate is. You can see the tailgate's down, and so I would go back there and I would get all set up, and then I'd come down to the front, or that's what was my plan. But as soon as I started walking with the goggles, I started tripping and almost crashing to the ground. So I had to use my vehicle as a handrail. And this is the most recent one. I'm coming in using the goggles, and now, as you can see in the upper right hand corner, I'm looking through the smartphone camera, and I just don't have any depth perception. I'm not sure exactly how close I am to the truck, and so it gets a little bit dangerous. And pretty soon I'm going to take the goggles off and use my two eyes to land the Bebop on the back of the vehicle. And you can see I was having trouble there. So this is about the time that I took the goggles off and decided to just land it. Now here's what this video is all about. With two eyes, we have depth perception. All right, two eyes are better than one. When I was a pilot and flew full-size aircraft, every 2 years I had to go in for a physical. And the doctor would take his finger and do like you can see here, and he would move it closer to my eyes and further away and watch my eyes, because as it got closer, my eyes would cross a little bit. And as it got further away, they would become less crossed. And that's how our depth perception works. Here's a good example. Everybody knows about 3D movies. And in the 3D movies, you have they make them with two cameras. And yeah, there's a picture of an old-fashioned, it was called a stereoscope camera. There's the a picture of it there. And it had two cameras in it, and you got two pictures, and then they would put the two pictures together, and people would look at them through the stereoscope, and it would get kind of an effect of three-dimension. And so with the Bebop 2 FPV goggles, you can look through both with both eyes, and it looks great. Everything's great, but the only bad news is you only have one eyeball coming out the front of the goggles, and that's your camera, your smartphone camera. So even though it looks like you got two, you only have one. And so in that case, you just have to be a little careful as you're walking around and climbing on the back of pickup trucks and so forth. So I want to thank you for watching, and God bless you.